All right, lads. This is something I have been wanting to talk to you guys about for a while. So, a lot of people tried to get into the Universe Alliance and were denied membership because it was already full. And as our membership grows on the YouTube channel, I think this is going to become more and more of a problem. So, we've talked about it a little bit, and I think what we're going to try to do here is something kind of like the the football or the soccer rather, if you're American, league system. And we're going to keep it simple at first. What we decided is to open up a new league and make it basically kind of be like a national league, right? And a lot of people will point out, well, if I have to jump into this lower league that's not even really considered top tier, um, it's not really fair because there's people in the Premier League that, are much lower level and much, frankly, inferior players. And what I would ask you is just trust the process. So what's going to happen here is we're pretty serious about this league play, and in part because it's kind of fun. You can actually, the leagues, the alliances rather, will track your results. You can kind of see what your rank is, what your points are, wins and losses. It's kind of a cool way of sort of stepping up your game to that next level. And I think we're ready for that as a community. But here's what I want to say. If you will come and join the Universe Alternate League, UN 632, I want you to trust that there is a process of promotion. So what that means is Batarik is going to be sort of handling the alternate league. I'm going to be handling the Universe League. And we're going to be meeting on regular bases and talking about who needs to be promoted up and maybe who needs to be promoted down. Now, I'll tell you, as far as promoting down, some of it's easy for me. Number one, people leave the alliance, So when people leave the alliance, I'm going to ask Batarik who he thinks should be transferred over. On the other hand, if somebody just shits the bed in the Universe Alliance, and examples of that would be going AFK, just disappearing from the game and causing an L. That's shit in the bed. You might get bumped down to the alternate league. Now, I like that too because it's not as bad as kicking someone. Kicking someone out and you're gone, that's it. Well, if you go down to the alternate league, remember, you're still in the mix. You still have the potential to take part in a few games and demonstrate some strengths and get promoted back. So I like this for a lot of reasons. Number one, I can kick people without being as harsh. I don't want to be harsh and just like, fuck off, you're gone forever from the Universe League. What can happen now is I can just say, hey, you're gone, but you're welcome to join the alternate league. And that means you're still part of this group and you're still part of the mix here. So people are going to point out, well, hey, I'm in the alternate league, but I'm a better player. I'm a higher level player. I know that. I get it. But just maybe trust the system. Trust that we're going to stay on top of it. I'll tell you this. Already, we've lost 3 players from the universe. And 2 just dropped out, maybe joined another alliance, maybe stopped playing. I don't know. And 1 hadn't logged in for like 2 weeks. So I went ahead and kicked him. However, if we had had an active national league at that time, I could have simply reached down and said, hey, and I say reached over really to Batarik and said, hey, give me 3 guys. And he would tell me who to send. And part of this too is going to be that we do want this league, this alternate league, to be I don't want to say training league, because that's going to turn off people who are good players. And I don't want to keep good players out of this league. That's my whole point. This is a place for you to be part of the universe and be ready to move up to the premier, right, league. And so the point being is that once you're in the Premier League, once you're in the universe, that's when you're going to be getting into casted games that are going to have hundreds and hundreds of views. And, you could potentially be, Papa Smitty told me the other day, he's like, yeah, I was just out playing a game somewhere. And someone was like, are you that guy from the universe games? Because if so, you're a really good player. And I was like, dude, you're famous. And the thing is, like, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to stop doing this. And I've been watching, as a mathematician, I've been watching my monthly increase. And my monthly increase for a while was like 10, and it's not monthly, it's per 28 days, but you get the point. It tells you how many people joined in the last 28 days. And it was, 10, then it was 20, and then it was 40, and now it's up to 85. And as a mathematician, what that means is if your rate of increase is increasing, that's called exponential growth. Okay, so that means hopefully next month we'll have 100 people join. The month after that, we'll have 120 and 130 and so forth and so on. And the more people you have, the higher that number gets. And if you can picture that exponential curve, it's getting steeper and steeper and steeper. So at this point, I'm not even bragging. I'm just reading the data. I think this channel is going to continue to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. So one of the ways that you can get into that Premier League and be somebody who is immortalized in those YouTube videos. Okay, I officially went over the line. I'm full of shit. It's not that you're immortalized, right? But it's fun to be in that group that's being cast, right? There's no question about it. You see that, hundreds or even in some cases thousands of people have watched the video that you're playing in, and hopefully you're doing good and not shit in the bed, right? But I mean, if you want to have a chance to kind of get up to that league, and again, we are going to grow. I'm just telling you, there's no question about that. I'm not going to stop making videos. It's just going to keep happening. And it's one of the things that I know as a mathematician, if you see a trend and the trend keeps going, and it has been going now for months and months, I'm tracing the curve. And, who knows when, but probably not before too long, we're going to be up in the thousands, we're close to 500 now. And so that kind of thing just sort of compounds. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're not in the Universe League, please go ahead and join the Alternate League. And, I was trying to think of what to call the Alternate League, because I didn't want it to be an insulting, like second level league or lower league or something like that, because it's not necessarily that. I'm trying to encourage players who are pretty good players, like even really high level players, 17, 18 level players, please join this league, because early on, if I don't have any other data, and right now I have 2 slots in the Universe League, and I don't really know what to do with those slots, but eventually I want to be able to look to the Alternate League. And if Botrick doesn't have, a specific, he hasn't played many games, he doesn't really know his players, what I'll probably do is just ask for the highest 2 or 3 players to come join us in the higher league. And in that way, it's almost just kind of like a hierarchy of participation. Just hang in there, join this league, hang in there, and slots will come open. That's just the way this goes. So eventually, though, what I'm kind of hoping is, as we sort of make this farming system, this sort of vertically aligned hierarchical system, eventually what we'll end up with is a Premier League that is just stacked, just fucking, really, really strong. And then a farm league, a feeder league that is highly competitive and ready to move up, right? So I'm just putting out this video to encourage you. Please find this Universe Alternate League, UN632, and join up. Especially if you're not in a league right now, go ahead and join up. There's no level limitations. So you got nothing to lose, really, frankly. If you are higher level, I will say I do have 2 slots right now over in the universe. And we're putting together games that we've only played the first one here now. But what I'm loving about these games is they're kind of shorter games. especially the Europe 1914, we'll probably keep one of those going every 2 to 3 weeks. So we're going to get to rotate around a lot of people. A lot of people are going to get some time actually playing. So, all right, just wanted to kind of share that with you, my vision for the future, my vision for the leagues. And by the way, Batorik was pretty instrumental in coming up with this idea. So, he's not just some guy I hired. Like, he's the entrepreneur who came up with the idea and pitched it to me. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it, man. So Batrik's going to be your manager over here in this league. He and I are going to work together to try to get the best talent funneled upwards and eventually be, contenders on the world stage. So let's do this, guys. All right. This is going to be fun. All right, guys. Thanks for checking in. I have to go through an extra level here than I normally do. All right, gents. Adios, amigos.